Very good afternoon and welcome to the Tamandaya Hockey Stadium. Well, you've probably gathered that this game has been delayed almost by an hour. It's going to start in about 20 minutes' time. We have had a major thunderstorm, and that is why we've had the delay. We had lightning, we had thunder, we had torrential rain, and just as it looked like we were going to clear up and we were going to start at 4:30 local time, we had another downpour and the pitch was underwater and there was more lightning. So now we've been told that the start time will be 4:50, which is in about, by my watch, about 18 minutes, but on the scoreboard it's showing 19. So anyway, we're glad you're with us, and we will be showing you the game now. There is a concern that they may, because we're behind schedule, put one of the games on pitch 2. Again, as soon as we hear this, and if it happens, we will try and advise you. But at the moment, we're a little bit in the dark, and I think as long as we don't have any more delays, you'll just find that everything will just be pushed back a little bit later in the day. Well, we did catch up this morning with the coach of Great Britain, John Bleeby, to just hear how he felt things were going in their camp, not only just over the game against Australia, but looking ahead to this game, and especially the fact that he's got a much younger side here in Johor Bahru in 2023 than he had last year.
Well, John, after the game against Australia, you said you thought the team started a bit slowly. Has it been good to have 2 days to work on that, or would you have rather been straight back in the action?
A bit both, to be honest. It would be nice to have played another game to kind of rebound quickly, but at the same time, 2 days has given us a really good chance to have some really good team meetings and go through the match against Australia. And for the young team we've got out here, we've learned a huge amount from that game, so hopefully we can put some stuff into play today.
Yeah, I mean, it is a younger side this time around, and I would have thought some of those players, maybe it was a bit of a shock, the heat, the pace of the game, a whole lot of things.
Yeah, I think so. I think sometimes, as much as we'd like to, you can't fast forward experience, and you can't fast forward their ages, and actually the experience they'll have got from that game was invaluable. And we always like to think experience is nice stuff, like, you know, winning games against big teams, but unfortunately, good bits of experience out here are also like tough games as well, and actually learning how to cope with the experience and nerves playing against different teams. So it's all invaluable.
Absolutely. Well, you've got a big game today against South Africa. It's really a must-win to stay alive, isn't it? I have a hope at the semis.
Yeah, big game. I'm looking forward to it. South Africa played. They lost in the end quite heavily to Germany, but actually, if you look at the first half, they played really well. So good team. Looking forward to them. Always exciting matches against South Africa, and excited to see if we can really improve on the stuff we've talked about over the last few days as well.
Yeah, because a good result will make it all go down to the last game in your pool.
I mean, that would be, if we could get ourselves over the line today, that would be great, because that sets up a real cup final against Germany, and Great Britain versus Germany cup finals are always exciting.
As long as it doesn't go to penalties.
Yeah, well, we'll take them.
Well, thanks, John, and all the best for today.
Okay, thank you.
Well, that was John Bleeby, the coach of Great Britain. He's a real fan of the Sultan of Johor Cup, and why wouldn't you be when, of course, Great Britain have won the trophy 3 times in 2015, 2018 and 2019. And, of course, they are taking on South Africa today. And we're going to just turn our attention now to the team lineups for both teams. South Africa, of course, they went down 6-1 in their opening game to Germany. But there were a few players that stood out, and there's players I believe tonight could be crucial in this game against Great Britain. To me, their forwards are going to have to fire, and Matalani, wearing number 17, is going to be crucial for them. So too Cameron LaForestier is a great player, and he is going to have to really have some support up front rather than having to be left to do it all on his own. Viwe Mbata is another player that again can cause problems in the forward line. If we look at the defensive work, well, again, James Flint was the rock at the back. Didn't really get a chance from penalty corners, yet we know that he can score from penalty corners. Fawaz Carter, again, is a very important player defensively for them, as is the captain, Nathan Ansell. But another player that impressed me in the first game was Josh de Klerk, wearing number 13. And, of course, South Africa are coached by Guy Elliott, who was appointed a couple of years ago with the aim to go through to the Junior World Cup. And he's done absolutely fantastic job, in my opinion. And let's hope he can really lift the boys today. and show what they're capable of. Well, turning our attention now to Great Britain. In their opening game, they went down 3-0 against Australia. And as we heard from John Bleeby, maybe a few players a little bit overawed by the pace, some of the new ones, and also the aggression of the Australians. Let's be honest, they are a physical side, and they really took it to them. But to me, players that are again going to be crucial for Great Britain. Max Anderson, their captain, he tried to lead from the front, just needs a few of the players around him to also lift. At the back, Rory Penrose was rock solid, as he always is, and he will again be looking to try and form those links with the midfield. And Henry Markham, I thought, was really lively up front. Also, the Scotsman, Ali Douglas, again, showed moments of real promise, whereas Jacob Payton, again, was lively throughout the game, and you just wonder if, again, he manages to create a bit of space and get away, then he may be able to create something. Well, we've heard the coach of Great Britain is John Bleeby. Well, the umpires for this match, we have Mohammed Ismadi Alib from Malaysia, and joining him is Khalid Hussain from Hong Kong. Still a fair bit of time to go because they're going through the warm-up, and we've got about another 15 minutes, so we may actually go back to our sponsors' messages in a moment and just give them a little bit of extra mileage, because without them we would be unable to bring you the live stream, and we do thank them for their support, and we hope that if you know anyone that may be able to use any of these companies, please do so, because without their support we would not be able to bring you this live stream for the 4th time in a row. Well, welcome back to the Damandara Hockey Stadium. Unfortunately, the rain is beginning to fall again, but it is nowhere near as heavy as we had about an hour ago, which has delayed the start of this match 7 on day 3 of the 11th edition of the Sultan of Johor Cup. It was a real thunderstorm, and you actually could not even see the buildings that are, well, not even a mile away from here. The skyscrapers were completely invisible with the cloud cover and the rain, and I can tell you some of the parents that are here were telling me that they'd never heard thunder quite as loud as that before, and it was exceptionally loud. Well, we'll take a look at the pools now, because obviously it's a very important match for both these teams, and this is the way it stands in Pool A at the moment. Well, Germany had a victory, Australia had a victory. So Great Britain, if they want to be in with a chance of making the top 2 and playing in the crossover matches in the semi-finals, are going to have to get a victory today against South Africa. And South Africa equally are going to want to get a victory over Great Britain to put themselves in that position. Now, South Africa's last game will be against Australia. Great Britain's will be against Germany, as we heard from John Bleeby. And although we joked about the penalty shootout, there will be no penalty shootout. This is the round robin. So it is just 3 points for a win, 1 point for a draw, and then we decide on goal difference if teams are level. And then if they're still level, we go down to goals scored and then head-to-head in those matches. So this, again, is going to be a very important game for both these sides to determine whether they get a chance of playing in the semi-finals or whether they're going to be playing off for one of the lower positions here at the Sultan of Johor Cup. Normally, it has been a 6-team competition, but because the Junior World Cup is taking place here in Malaysia in December, the organisers were happy to extend it to 8 teams and have a similar format to the World Cup. And that's why we've got 2 pools of 4. The top 2 will go through. The bottom 2 will play off for the lower places. So it's really good training and good practice for all the teams that are here. Only Great Britain will not be competing at the World Cup because obviously when it comes to the World Cup, Great Britain splits up and they play as Ireland, Wales, Scotland and England, and then they come together obviously for the Olympic Games, and this is part of the development for these players to go through to the Olympic Games. It won't be obviously for Paris this time around, but it'll be for the next games in Los Angeles. I can tell you we've got 1 Irishman in Max Anderson, and we've got 2 Scotsmen at the moment in Ali Douglas and Callum Douglas. There was another Scotsman, Matthew Hewson, but I believe he's switched allegiance and has now made himself available for England. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting match today. We've still got a fair way to go because we've just been told that the start time is now, in fact, 5 o'clock and not 10:02. So if you're getting a bit sick of me rabbiting on, go and get a cup of coffee, and the game will be getting underway in about 8 minutes' time. So you've got time to do that. And I didn't ask John Bleeby, but I was very tempted. I don't know how many of you out there have been following the Sultan of Johor Cup in recent years, but one of the regular attendees for Great Britain is Boris the Bulldog. Now, Boris has been a stuffed bulldog that is always given to the youngest member of the team, and it is their responsibility to bring him to games, to training, to every team meeting, and the teammates obviously try and take Boris off him and get the youngest player in a little bit of trouble. All good, innocent fun, and it can be quite a testing time because Harry Stone had that task last year, and we used to pass him in the lift regularly with Boris tucked under his arm, making sure that it was never out of his sight, although he did lose it at one stage and was a little bit panicky, but his teammates again had taken it away and just hidden it from him for a while. Well, Boris the Bulldog isn't here this year. Now, I was asking one of the, I won't say who it was, somebody involved with the Great Britain team. I said, where's Boris this year? Haven't seen him pitch side. And they said, look, somebody forgot to bring him. Now, I don't know whether there's an opportunity for one of the courier companies out there to go to England Hockey or Great Britain Hockey, pick up Boris and get him over here to Johor quickly, because maybe he was there. Because he wasn't here, maybe that's why Great Britain were a little bit unlucky in that first game against Australia. But the big inquest is going on as to whose responsibility it was to get Boris on the plane, and apparently no one is accepting responsibility. And as you can probably imagine, definitely not the youngest player in the team. He's saying, wasn't my responsibility. My responsibility starts when we get to Johor Bahru. So there's a little bit of the fun that goes on in these tournaments, although it is incredibly serious as well. These young players trying to get an idea of what it's like to play at the highest level, and if they do get the chance to step up and play for the senior national teams, some of them of course in some of the teams have already done so, but this is a great preparation for them, staying in a hotel. Also, when things don't necessarily go quite right, like the bus may be a little bit late, or as we've seen today, when the heavens open and you're all prepared and you're primed and ready to go. And I can tell you that we got here with the players on the players' bus, and they had the music pumping, and they were in really good spirits, and they were all changed, ready to go out for the warm-up. All the cones were in place, and that was when the downpour happened. And so then they've had to sit in their changing rooms for about an hour, or certainly below the main stand, try and stay warm, try and stay focused. And so this will be a real test for both these teams. And I can tell you, I wandered down there and I could hear both teams actually really sort of singing or shouting, trying to, again, keep that intensity up during that time. So it is a case of doing whatever you can. And on the far pitch, well, we can see Pakistan are actually out there at the moment going through a warm-up. But they're here very, very early when you consider now that their game has been pushed back. And as I mentioned, we have been told that there is a possibility that the next game could be played on that pitch, but that is actually not at Pakistan, it's actually Australia-Germany. But we will wait and find out, and as soon as we do hear anything, we will let you know. But if we don't have any more delays, everything should be okay, and we should be able to bring you all 3 games today, because they are very important games. Especially the last one, because India, of course, Pakistan aren't playing today, are they? That's why they're warming up. So India are playing New Zealand, and India will be wanting a win in that, because that will put them top of the lead and mean that Pakistan would have to beat, well, they would still actually, if they got a draw, would be okay. And in fact, even if they lost to Malaysia, because New Zealand would have lost. So Pakistan are currently on 4 points in their pool. India are also on 4 points, but of course, if India win today against New Zealand, they would go to 7, and Pakistan would still have enough points to go through to the semi-final. It would just depend on whether they finish first or second, which of course would determine who they play from Pool A. And that, at the moment, with only all the teams having played 1 game, is wide open. Well, I just want to acknowledge our sponsors and thank them for their support now. Obento Ramen Bar in South Africa are on board for the South African Games, and they're based in Parkmore in Johannesburg, very near to Sultan. And if you ever get the chance to go in there, tell them you were watching the hockey, and that's how you heard about them. And I can tell you the 2 owners went to the same school that Guy Elliott, the coach, coaches at now, which is St Albans in South Africa, in Johannesburg. I'd also like to acknowledge Groundwork Interiors. They're committed to improving people's quality of life by using health-friendly materials and ensuring that the products demonstrate superior craftsmanship. Also, we've got Ong and Ong, excelling in infrastructure, education, commercial and high-density living. And of course, Project Innovations Pte Limited. Their in-house expertise adds value to the consultant's design, and they also assist by conducting value management and risk management workshops. And finally, we'd like to also acknowledge Atlas. They've got hockey covered. Well, the warm-ups look like they're coming to an end now. The South African players slowly just making their way over to the bench. The penalty corner, guys still practicing there. Just trying to see if the umpires are out there still, or whether they've actually taken a little bit of shelter, because it is still raining here. And it'll be interesting to see how the pitch plays, because a few of the players have been saying it's been a little bit bobbly and they've struggled to get the ball under control. So if you do see a few missed traps, please be a bit sympathetic. It's not just those players, that's all the players, excuse me, from every team who've been saying that. So there's clearly maybe a few little issues down there. I'm not quite sure what they are. I'm no pitch expert. Well, certainly the South African players now coming into a huddle around their coach to our left-hand side, Guy Elliott, with some final words of wisdom for them. And again, it's credit to all these players that they've had to go out there and fundraise to be here, and that's how determined they are to try and lift the profile of South African hockey. I mean, we heard with their senior team how the players that were based in Europe would, on weekends off, meet up in either Belgium or in the Netherlands. They'd drive there and put on their own training session together, because obviously too expensive for them to go back to South Africa, or for the rest of the South African squad to head over to Europe. So South Africa does it tough. And again, some of these boys live in the Western Cape or in Cape Town itself. And the training camps are held in Pretoria. So again, they have to get up to Pretoria for those camps. And that's not cheap. Full tank of petrol or an airfare. And again, credit to the parents who support these young men. Well, they're breaking up now, and they will start to line up to come out onto the pitch. We'll just be waiting then for the umpires to, I think actually I can see the umpires are down below us. They're in fact already looking at their watches going, come on, let's get on with this. Because I think by my watch we've gone past the 5 o'clock. And yeah, we're 2 minutes past 5 o'clock, so we should be underway by now. So once again, if you're just tuning in, we had a massive thunderstorm here with lightning and a thunder that was incredibly loud. And we had a delay because of the lightning, and also the pitch was completely underwater. We were told we were going to start at 4:30, but then unfortunately we had another downpour, and so the delay was then put back to 4:50, and then we were told 5 o'clock, but we've just clicked past that now. But we should be starting sooner rather than later now. The players are in position, ready to make their way out. I think we're just waiting for the Great Britain players to finish their high fives over to my right-hand side. Captain's armband just being placed on the arm of Max Anderson. As the announcer runs through the teams again.
Number 17, Matthew Wilson. Number 19, Ali Douglas. Number 20, Alice Watson. Number 23, goalkeeper Alan Douglas.
And I think they're going to do the toss of the coin down here, but certainly they're changing up, handing over the pennants, which is a tradition that I'm glad we see that now. South African hockey giving their pennant, and also Great Britain giving theirs. A little bit of history. And we're just waiting now for the umpires to get the nod to start their procession. Not sure if I told you, but I'm Ashley Morrison, looking forward to sharing this afternoon with you. And thanks for sticking with us during this delay. Well, again, the umpires are ready, but they're just waiting for the nod to be able to start the walk out onto the turf. Hopefully we will get things moving soon. Well, certainly the players are ready to go, there's no doubt about that. I think they're desperate to get things underway. Well, still we wait. You can just see at the back of the goalkeeping line, or the goalkeepers for Great Britain, the last ones, and Callum Douglas is like he's queuing up to go into a museum or catch a flight, looking over the shoulders of everyone saying, what's going on? Why are we being held up? As I have to say, the other side, looking far more relaxed, is Devon van Niekerk. Finally, they start the march out to the centre. Once they get in position, we can play the national anthems, and then we can enjoy the match ahead. And I'm sure that the South Africans have been inspired by the Springboks. I have to say, having met them in the hotel, they've been very modest about the achievements of their national rugby team. So the first national anthem will be the national anthem of South Africa, Nkosi Sikelel' Afrika. Well, again, a rousing rendition, and now it'll be the national anthem of Great Britain, God Save the King. Over to my right-hand side, there are some of the parents from Great Britain waving their Union Jacks in support of their team. The two captains now tossing the coin. And I get the feeling there that Liam Ansell may have won that, and I think he's decided to stay as they are. Not a handshake these days, just a hand slap. Which is better probably than the COVID times where there was very little. It was almost just a touch of the sticks and you ran through. Seems such a long time ago now that we went through all of that. But I'm sure there are still many who will never forget it because it has changed their lives. And especially in places like South Africa where, again, there were huge outbreaks over there. Well, final huddle from both teams. And then hopefully we can get proceedings underway. Again, if you just joined us, this match has been delayed due to a massive thunderstorm a little bit earlier. And that will, of course, impact on the start times of the other games, although they're hoping that if we can get the next game, which is Australia versus Germany, they warm up on the other pitch and they can get underway as close to their standard time. The last game may well still go ahead as planned at the scheduled time. Hopefully now we can get things underway. There's been a few unnecessary delays since the major delay. South Africa look as if they have got the start for the match. The Great Britain substitutes make their way over. And then we can get things going. In fact, it looks now it is Great Britain that's going to start it. The South Africans maybe just having a bit of fun with the ball before. And again, we're just waiting for a nod from the technical bench for the whistle to get things underway. For a game that was due to start at 5, we're 12 minutes behind schedule. As Great Britain pushed back to get us underway was Jacob Payton. Great Britain in the white, South Africa, it looks black, but it is in fact dark green. Just when it gets very wet, it goes very dark. Super pass forward to pick out Harry Stone. Stone helps it forward on the overlapping Ellis Robson. Robson, though, had to check his run and come back. And South Africa still possession. So, is it a 16 or? I think it is, yeah. So Flint over the ball. Ansell trying to fire it up the middle again. A deflection coming from Stone, but it falls kindly for South Africa to Mutalani. Flint to Ansell again, being closed down, confident to carry it up to the 23, but his pass is intercepted on halfway that time by Robson. Robson, one of 7 players in the Great Britain side that were here last year. Thrown to the air that time by Penrose. A little bit of space wide now for Sturch Hibbert. He wins the long corner for his side. Matthew Hewson takes it quickly. Comes square now to Lewis Wiltshire. Into Anderson, plays it out wide. Robson scuffed that pass, but he's found his teammate right in front of the goalkeeper, trying to spin. South Africa had numbers there, deflected away. Wiltshire coming across. South Africa play it forward, and Umbata is chasing it, but should be an easy one for Penrose to get under control and peel away. And it certainly is. So Payton again, surrounded by green shirts, managed to just pull away that time from Damien Knott. Goes square, South Africa should collect it. Good touch that time coming in from Harry Markham. Ansell now. Goes back to Flint as straight in front of him was Jacob Payton. And off the stick of Nick Nurse it goes and over the side. A little bit fortunate, I would say, for South Africa. Ansell again, closed down really quickly, but a lovely little pull back infield, and saw Payton go flying past him. He will have enjoyed that. And we see the aerial ball played forward. This time it was Markham who brought it down for Great Britain. Wiltshire. Nice turn by Wiltshire. Stolen away, though, by South Africa. Jamie Seal driving towards the circle. Seal still going, still going. And I think it just caught the foot. So Great Britain making the changes down below us. Still some light rain falling here. Let's just call it British rain, because it is that fine rain that you're walking in and you don't realise how wet you're going to get. Monteneve down the side, he's going to get the free hit. Comes back this time to Morehouse. Morehouse Anderson played it forward, but it's South Africa who've got it. That looked like it was stick. Wiltshire again looked a little bit miffed, but that's a brilliant steal. Jacob Payton just ran across, took it away as the pass was made, and Payton still on the ball. Now feeds it to Wiltshire. Great Britain trying to weave away towards the baseline and then along it. They've got a long corner. Lewis Wiltshire again, this time goes all the way back to Tom Spreckley. Spreckley's a prime example of never give up. He was not selected for England under-16s and was a little bit upset about that, but decided to change club, work a bit harder, and look at him here now representing Great Britain at under-21 level. So never give up. As someone said, it's only one man's opinion if they don't pick you. So the first penalty corner going South Africa's way. It was good work running towards the baseline that time, coming from Damien Knott. Got bundled over. South Africa have not yet scored from a penalty corner. They've had 4 so far in the tournament. Great Britain have had 2 and they haven't converted any either. The conversion rate so far after 6 games is at 27% in the tournament. We're averaging 5 goals a game, so plenty of goals in the tournament so far after 6 games. Flint is at the second battery. They go to him. Flint flicks, good save initially. And played back across the circle. South Africa appealing. Well, they actually stopped. Well, that has to be a penalty. It's thrown the kit down on the pitch. And it impeded the player. Well, in the corner is Tom Morehouse. I can't understand that. If the player throws the kit down and it impedes a player, surely it has to be an offence against the defender. They're not meant to throw their kit anyway. To be fair, it was a good sharp save from Callum Douglas, 17-year-old who plays his hockey for the Clydesdale club. He's also a member of Scotland under-18s. Comes wide again to Ellis Robson, pushes it forward. It was a good pass to find Stone. Stone went infield. Hewson will have the free hit for Great Britain. Goes back to Spreckley. That's a good ball down the sideline. Again, very, very tight there. Deflection towards goal, and it's poured away. Good save in the end coming from Verissimo. And then Ansell fouled that time by Harry Stone. Van Niekerk lost it, it appeared, and then just suddenly managed to pick it up, I think, out of the corner of his eye, and got a really important touch to take it away. So Great Britain ball from the side. Spreckley to take it. Goes to the air. South African player underneath it. Short pass played this time to Neetling. Neetling going on a run himself. Gets the free hit for his team. Jamie Seal over the ball. Seal self passes. Look to just push it down the line now. And that was clever again into the foot by Hans Neetling. Neetling self passes, then goes back to Liam Ansell. Fawaz Carter feeds it to Oliphant. Heavy touch from him. And that has seen a turnover to Great Britain. Caleb Oliphant, the only goal scorer for South Africa so far. In fact, the only goal scorer in both these teams. Great Britain yet to register. South Africa getting one in their match against Germany. Wiltshire falling over though, got the pass away, a bit of a mix-up down the side, but the free hit was won by Payton. Slapped forward that time by Nick Nurse. South Africa come up with it, good feed forward, but it's just caught the foot of Le Forestier. Cameron Le Forestier, if he gets the ball, he is a real danger machine. Very balanced forward and has great skills. Spreckley did well to trap that one. Deflected away that time by Seal. Carter, reverse stick. It was a well-directed pass towards Le Forestier, but intercepted well by Great Britain. Ball comes back now to Sturch Hibbert. In turn, he goes back to Nurse, who gives it straight back to him. Sturch Hibbert, a very tall player. Penrose now. Pushed out wide by Payton again, who's been very busy in this opening quarter. Robson has to turn around and go back to Penrose. Joining the fray now is the captain, Max Anderson. A little bit of space for him. He feeds it out wide to Nurse. Nurse to Wiltshire. Penrose had to play that first time. Oliphant, if he'd have been a bit lower, could well have actually intercepted that. And over the baseline it goes. It'll be another long corner for Great Britain. Played short to Penrose, into the edge of the circle, trying to turn and get a shot away. South Africa got numbers there. It was good play by Ansell, but it's going to be picked up by Nick Nurse. Short pass to Wiltshire. Nick Nurse, the University of Exeter man. That's a good pass and a spin at the top of the circle from Sturch Hibbert. No one running in on that line, though. Sturch Hibbert, who was part of the under 18 side in 2022, so only just made the step up to this level. Just trying to poke that one through was Tabang Jay. Hewson, and Tabang Jay is the player penalised. He feels a little bit miffed by that. Tabang Jay hails from the Western Cape in South Africa. One of the most beautiful places in the world. And then coming into that space before it was brought under control. So penalised is Jacob Payton. Intelligent play from Nieuwhof, who I think knew that Payton was going to come. Ulifant tries to turn. Was he bundled over? Yes, he was, says the umpire. Monteneve, the culprit, just giving him a bump in the back. And it's a mistrap by Flint. He's going to struggle to keep that in play. Managed to, so I'll give him credit for that. I didn't think he was ever going to get to that. Throws it forward, I think out of desperation. Moore has brought it down. Fed it into the path of Ted Graves. Wiltshire now. South African players trying to go in with the indoor tackle, but it just bobbled up. It was not a bad idea from Montgomery, but he just overbalanced slightly. So 3 minutes left in the first quarter of this delayed match between Great Britain and South Africa. Crucial that either team wins to keep their hopes of making the semi-finals alive. Infield from Nurse. South Africa pick up possession again. Turn in the midfield from Josh de Klerk. De Klerk trying to make himself available. Carter goes back to Flint. Ansell now. Feeding it forward, good read and intercept from Tom Moorhouse now. Moorhouse carrying it forward, looks to go infield. Good tackle from Flint. Very good tackle from Flint, closing down Payton as he was about to receive it. Now, James Flint has really impressed me. Former Bishop's School, first 11 player. Now at Marties, which is the Stellenbosch University. Ansell, back to Flint again. Howard Carter. Under 2 minutes left in this first period. I've just seen the buses for the next match arriving, I think. So they've had a preparation that would have been interrupted. I'm sure they would have probably had their team talk and got all ready to come to the ground about an hour or so ago. And this is all, again, part of the preparation, because it may well happen at the Junior World Cup here in Kuala Lumpur. Storms are quite frequent. There's a deflection off the Great Britain stick of Tully, but it's broken kindly for South Africa. Although just getting bumped there. And the decision goes against South Africa. Dan Nieuwhof trying to make the break down the side. He also is a Bishop's schoolboy. Covering play again from Nieuwhof. Played on quickly though by Harry Stone. Stone into the circle for Great Britain. Has he got it back? It appeals that it's gone over the baseline. Penalty corner given. So Great Britain get their first penalty corner of the match. And there is, well, 36 seconds left on the clock. So the perfect time to score if they can. They had, in their game against Australia, 2 penalty corners. Didn't manage to convert either. Spreckley is coming on with the instructions on the bench. He's taking his time. They've only got 10 seconds left to get to the baseline and inject. So making his way to the baseline now is Felix Tully. should be ready. I mean, that's the time is up. Well, it's a mix-up at the top. It's flicked towards goal. It's saved by Verissimo. And it will be another penalty corner played deliberately over the baseline, according to the umpire, by Flint. So Spreckley will line up again at the top of the circle. And alongside him will be Matthew Hewson. So Spreckley at the first battery. It goes to him this time. Sweeps it towards goal. Good save, Verissimo. And a good clearance from South Africa. Into the circle it goes from Great Britain. The deflection looked like it was going to go to the back post, but South Africa managed to clear it, and they're not going to get the chance to counter-attack as the hooter goes for the end of the first quarter. And it's been fairly even, Stephen. No goals as yet, and so we head into the first break. South Africa 0, Great Britain 0. Welcome back to the Tamandaya Hockey Stadium. The Great Britain players making their way out first for the second quarter. And I can tell you that the rain has finally stopped, I think. Can't see the drizzle. So they'll be relieved about that, although the good effect that it has had is it's cooled down the temperature here and also reduced the humidity, which was extremely high about an hour before the storm started, rather. As Great Britain get us underway, ball goes back to Hewson. He'll get it again. Penrose now comes out wide to Neve. Wiltshire takes a tumble. That was well read that time by Mbata. Comes wide again to Jamie Seal. Nothing on down the line. It was good defensive work coming across from Sturge Hibbert. Really closed down that avenue for Jamie Seal. Fawaz Carter, lovely turn from him. That's deflected up off the GB stick. Well, I think South Africa is saying, what about the danger? When it came up off the stick, and even then they also felt that he had the ball under control, but decision going against them. Good steal again from Sturge Hibbert, but good recovery by South Africa, and a chance to come forward again for Jamie Seal, who's been very lively. Seal wins it again, tumbles though, and gives an easy ball to Penrose, who just feeds it into the path of Payton. Wiltshire. The players slipping a little bit out there. I'm not surprised. There was a huge amount of rain came down as it comes wide to Monteneve again. Goes back this time to Tom Spreckley. Square to Penrose. Great Britain, that's a lovely deflection up the sideline. Again, a slip just when they didn't need it. South Africa pick up possession. And again, staying calm at the moment, coming forward. Comes wide to Oliphant. Mbata was the player who played the good pass in the midfield just to calm things down. Could easily have had a rush of blood to the head and decided he was going to carry it himself. Carter again had the chance to go infield. That time, though, unfortunately for South Africa, missed trap and they've turned it over. It was Aya Mutalani. Mbata, though, drops it back now to Neertling. Mbata's made a good run ahead. Comes to him now. He controls it. Showed a little bit too much. Spreckley almost got there. Mbata, though, got the ball across the circle, but no one in that space. And then easy clean up at the back for Ted Graves. Ted Graves, who is a University of Nottingham man. Through the junior ranks there, playing under 16s and under 18s. Good run this time coming from Carter. Again, good work around the edge of the circle from Neertling. Neertling lays it back. Great Britain, they got a stick on it and managed to keep his foot out of the way. So Penrose did well. And that's just anywhere will do. Clear the danger. John Bleeby said before the match that he knew South Africa were a much improved side. He'd seen how they held their own against Germany early in the match. Yes, they ended up conceding 6 against a very, very strong and talented side. South Africa currently ranked 10 in the world. Great Britain, of course, don't have a ranking. This is for the Junior World Rankings that created by the FIH earlier this year for the Junior World Cup. And usually Great Britain go off England's rankings because England Hockey run the Great Britain program. So if you're basing it on that, England are ranked 5 in the under-21s. So 5 places ahead of South Africa. Nice turn on halfway. Again, looking up as he carried the ball forward that time was Breitenbach. Ross Breitenbach, who hails from Krugersdorp. That's a good pass, but he's going to have to stretch. He gets there well. Across the circle it goes. Stolen by South Africa. Brilliant save in the end. Well, a really good save by James Carlton. I think it is in goal now. They've swapped at quarter time. But it was Seal involved once again. Jamie Seal getting more and more action and really showing his capabilities in this tournament. South Africa are minus some of their more seasoned players, let's call it, experienced players, in that they had university exams or slight injury. And there were some had their matriculation exams and couldn't get out of them, which again, it's kind of sad because there was one year here where I remember the players went across to Singapore to sit the exams on the day off in a controlled environment. So you sort of think if one country can do that, you would hope that others could as well, so that these players don't miss out on the opportunity. Because sometimes you miss out on a tournament, a player performs well, and you're on the outer. Great pass quickly from Nick Nurse. Moving it well around the circle, Great Britain. Eventually the free hit was won by Felix Tully. Felix Tully comes from Brooklands Hockey Club in Manchester. Wiltshire over the ball now. Goes back to Spreckley. To Penrose, back to Spreckley again. Trying to turn, and he got the turn and the pass in there. Was Ali Douglas, the elder brother of Callum, the goalkeeper, who's sitting on the bench at the moment, just because they're rotating it. Penrose again, a little bit of space opening up in front of him. It took a deflection, long corner, directly opposite where it crossed the baseline. Well, Wiltshire is taking it pretty much in front of the goal. It can't possibly have been there. And then a wasted pass into the circle. Brought down by Ellis Robson, but didn't get it under control, and so South Africa able to steal it. Again, forced on an angle as he's carrying it forward that time. Dan Newhoff. Great Britain trying to play it out of defence. That was a very good dummy by Ellis Robson, allowing the ball to travel all the way through to Jacob Payton. Payton still with possession, feeds it now to Wiltshire. Into the circle it goes, and well, not brought down that time by Ali Douglas. Ulifant, chance for him to go forward. Was it just poked over the side? Yeah, it was by Tom Morehouse. It'll be South Africa's ball just inside Great Britain's half. Still no goals in this match at the moment. And the crazy thing is, if this finished in a draw and Great Britain, oh sorry, Australia and Germany draw, then it would still be wide open come the last games. South Africa play Australia, Great Britain will play Germany. Those games coming your way tomorrow. Wiltshire. Comes square now to Nurse. Back to Wiltshire, who had to, well, it was a little bit too close to his feet. It almost yorked him. He did well to get a stick on it and not fall over. Delane. And Ulifant couldn't get it. Comes to South Africa again, deflected out. It'll be a long corner. It was actually Tabang J. My apologies, not Mutalani. And once again, we're calling for the ball. South Africa frustrated. They wanted to take it quickly. And the ball's getting onto the field of play, just taking a little bit longer than they would have liked. Goes back to Flint now. Comes wide this time to Ansell. Ansell back to Flint. Carter tries to fire it in. It's going to be collected well at the edge of the circle by Montgomery. Wins a free hit. In comes South Africa. Le Forestier. Great Britain have it now. And caught the foot. That was a good tackle again by Flint. Just deflecting it onto the foot. Brought down this time. Jay trying to go back, just check the ball back, but showed a little bit too much, and in the end, Great Britain able to steal it back. It's good work by Rory Penrose. The ball deflected back to him now. Infield he goes once more, and it's Harry Stone, feeds it forward to Payton. Wiltshire now looks to use the width on the right-hand side. Neve played it forward, and covering across was Carter. Put it over the side. Into the final 5 minutes of the first half. Ball goes back to Hewson. Will come wide now to Spreckley. Into Wiltshire. Spreckley again. Anderson back to Spreckley. Not sure if you can hear John Bleeby saying, good angles, so work the angles, obviously. Lewis Wiltshire. Spreckley once more. Finds Wiltshire. Wiltshire managing to play that one forward into the path of Sturch Hibbert. Gets the pass back, though. Now pushed up the side by Hewson. Comes back to Hewson. Good patience by Great Britain. Anderson will now pay the ball to the replacement player, Tom Morehouse, who came on for Wiltshire while they were still just knocking it around. South Africa happy to sit back. Spreckley feeds it up the side now. Ellis Robson had to stretch, couldn't get it under control. South Africa coming forward and kicked away that time by Tom Morehouse. Carter to Flint, who'd pushed out wide onto the right-hand side. Ansell is, or on the left-hand side rather, Ansell's on the right-hand side. Ulifant played it in. Le Forestier was there. It's going to be lost inside the circle. Chance for South Africa. Everything shoot. Great brave block inside the circle that time from Morehouse. And now Robson will get the chance to break. Has the ball on halfway. Feeds it onto the substitute coming on, Ali Douglas. Douglas cuts infield, looking to feed it to Robson again. He's going to have to hurry to get to that one. And there's a long corner given. Carter was saying there was a bit of a push. I think Carter could have just let that run because I don't think Robson would have got there. So once more, Tom Morehouse goes back to Spreckley. Great deflection, top of the circle. Flint was there again, though. So Max Anderson playing that angled pass into the circle. South Africa throw it long. Le Forestier is chasing it. Did really well to get his stick up to that. Still has possession. Cameron Le Forestier into the circle, trying to get past two Great Britain defenders. Gets the pass away. Kept alive now by South Africa. That was good play by Jay. Great Britain, though, have stolen it away that time, just off the stick of Neertling. Now they look to try and play their way out. Graves on the ball. Fed the short pass. South Africa have won it back. Into the circle. Great intercept. Needed to be from Tom Spreckley. Spreckley, calm as you like. Carries it out of the circle. And then Morehouse now. And it almost a steal again on the far side. But Great Britain have done well to keep possession under pressure. Robson plays it up the line. A nice turn and run now from Tully. And, well, Liam Ansell is being penalised, and he's going to talk to the umpire. I have to say, I thought he got the ball first on that one, and I'm surprised at a penalty corner. So a second penalty corner to Great Britain. And maybe South Africa feeling hard done by. But they've got to put that out of their minds as Spreckley comes on again with the instructions. He was the man who was the option at the first penalty corner. Spreckley looks as if he's moving to the second battery this time, and Matthew Hewson is lining up at the first. So Hewson at the first, Spreckley at the second. It goes to Hewson into the first runner. Played forward again. That was a very good save in the end coming from Verissimo. It's still alive for Great Britain. And it will be another penalty corner. Well won that time by Harry Stone. South African player looking to lift his foot, and Stone lifting the ball as the foot was raised. So we've got just over a minute left. Third penalty corner of the match for Great Britain. Once again, we see Hewson and Spreckley lining up. Hewson at the first battery. Goes to him again. Flicks into the first runner. That was all stick. Comes back to Great Britain, and that was lifted that time as it was played in by Ali Douglas. South Africa have it, and they've got numbers. They've got 2-on-1 if they can make it work. Covering across now is Anderson, and it was a missed trap that time by Le Forestier. You won't see that too often in that situation. But almost the perfect opportunity for South Africa to catch Great Britain on the counter-attack. Spreckley will just push the ball into that hole. Morehouse throws it into the air out wide. Not very long left, seconds in fact. Free hit goes Great Britain's way. They need to take it quickly if they're going to get anything out of this. Harry Stone realises that, pushes it into the circle. What a pass. It goes right past the man in front of goal. And that was a great chance for Great Britain to steal the lead right at the end of the first half. But unfortunately, it just went behind the big figure of, I think it was Ali Douglas, or no, it wasn't actually. It was Felix Tully who was in the good position. Well, that is the half-time break now, and I can tell you we've had no goals, but plenty of excitement. It is South Africa 0, Great Britain 0. Welcome back to the Tamandao Hockey Stadium as we just see first player walking out onto the field is Callum Douglas, the goalkeeper for Great Britain. 0-0 in this match 7 on day 3 of the 11th edition of the Sultan of Johor Cup. A really important game for both South Africa and Great Britain if they want to keep their hopes alive of progressing through to the semi-finals. South Africa making their first appearance in 2022, played Great Britain there, and Great Britain won 4-1 in that game. Cameron LaForestier with the only goal for South Africa. Rory Penrose, who's here this year, scored 2 for Great Britain, and the other 2 goals coming from Alex Pendle and Fraser Heath. Fraser Heath currently playing in Australia in the Hockey One League for South Australia. Must admit, I can't remember what the franchise is called. The Adelaide Fire, that's it. In Hockey Australia, rebranding the old Australian Hockey League after over 90 years of competition. And renaming it Hockey One and also changing the format. So it will be South Africa to get the second half underway. Gianluca Verissimo making his way down to his goal. He actually coached at the Christenhof pre-primary school in the Western Cape. Always good when you see young players giving back to the game, and Gianluca Verissimo, one of those players doing exactly that. Especially in places like South Africa, these young players can inspire and let people know that they can have an opportunity to represent their country. Once again, we're just waiting for the okay to get the second half underway. Once again, like to just acknowledge Obento Ramen Bar in Parkmore in Johannesburg for their support of the live stream. And I was told that they were going to show the games in the restaurant, so hopefully they're going to do that. So if you fancy a bit of ramen and also watch a bit of hockey while you're eating, head on down there. You can even tell them we sent you. Well, the whistle finally goes and we get the second half underway. Damien Knott throws it out wide to the right-hand side, but it's a mistrap from LaForestier. Who will break the deadlock? Will it be broken? Both teams seemingly negating each other at the moment. Nick Nurse going back infield that time to Morehouse. Morehouse gets it again, had to stretch a little bit for that ball. Deflected over the side. Tom Morehouse plays for the Loughborough students, Loughborough University. Based in Leicester. Strong start by Great Britain, keeping possession. It's Morehouse again. Another free hit. Thrown to the air this time, but it'll be brought down wide by Ted Graves. And Graves, though, unfortunately for Great Britain, just lost control of it. So South Africa with Fawaz Carter goes back to Flint. Great Britain pressing high, having to work hard in the midfield, and doing well was Hans Neertling. Wiltshire gives chase. Neertling looks to cut infield again and change direction. Fairly short pass from Delani does well. So too, helping it out on its way was Newhoff. But it's broken down again. And so Great Britain get it back. They scoop that one forward. Taken quickly into the path of Morehouse. Morehouse looks to slip it. Good pass by him across the face of goal. Good save off the pads by Verissimo, and another good save as well. So Graves denied initially, and then another really good save by Verissimo at his back post. So Great Britain, there was actually a little bit of a disappointment, you could tell. They felt they should have scored, and a couple of the players' shoulders just appeared to drop a little bit. Max Anderson now goes back. It comes to Anderson again. He's the captain. Can he inspire? Wide it goes, and Nick Nurse trying to play it down the line again. Free hit to South Africa, but they're annoyed. They were going to break forward, and Neertling just letting their frustration show and having to apologise to the umpire. But one can understand, because they actually were getting ahead, and then the whistle went, and they just had to come back, which gave Great Britain the chance to drop all their defenders back goal side. In a game like this where it is so close, those can be the moments where you feel you could have turned the game. Spreckley plays it back again. Le Forestier looks to close down. Great Britain trying to go down the left-hand side. Good ball infield again, managing to find Sturch Hibbert. He cuts infield and then pushes the ball out onto the left-hand side. Graves to Sturch Hibbert, can't keep it in play. So Flint this time throws it high and long, and it's going to be collected by South Africa, but they lost it again. It'll be their free hit. Good work by Hans Neertling again. I think the umpire was just saying make sure you stop the ball, but again it was a little bit frustrating for South Africa. We're trying to get on with things quickly, and not sure whether Neertling did actually stop it dead. Hard to tell, certainly from where I am. Umpire much better placed. Again, it was a heavy touch, lost, and a chance to turn for Breitenbach. Breitenbach beats one. Will look to try and play it. Well, I thought he was going to try and play it across. He now goes along the baseline. It's broken kindly, saved on the line. A good save by Douglas. Over the side it goes again. It'll be South Africa ball. So good work by Breitenbach. Joining the fray once again is Thabang Jay, gets the ball immediately. Ball taken away from him, but over the side it goes. Playing on quickly again is Breitenbach. Across to the top of the circle. Good defence coming back for Great Britain. Steals it. And now carried out by them. Good run up the right-hand side by Monteneve. Played forward again to Harry Stone. Stone thought about cutting in, then came wide. Flint, strong tackle, and it caught the foot of Stone. Well, Harry Stone, I have to say, is a player that is a joy to watch in some respects, in that I've yet to see him actually complain. Even when a decision goes against him, he's a very disciplined player. I'm counting that on watching him here last year, and obviously a game and a half this year. He may yet prove me wrong, but we'll wait and see. So Spreckley over the ball again for Great Britain. Great Britain having much longer rest, of course. South Africa did play on day 2, had yesterday off as it was a rest day for everybody. Great Britain played on day 1, so they've had 2 days rest. Josh de Klerk plays it back to Flint. Flint to Carter. Carter spins around. Oh, lovely pass as well infield, but it's one hand on the stick and lost that time by de Klerk. There's danger now for South Africa. Morehouse. Over the 23 he goes. Morehouse still going into the circle he goes, and it'll be a free hit just outside as Flint lifted it up into the body of Morehouse. Ali Douglas just being told exactly where to take it. Robson is short for him. Douglas decides to try and go back into the circle, but Breitenbach did well just to nudge it as he went to the air over the baseline. Penrose now goes wide. Robson is there for Great Britain. He looks on a mazy run. And a little touch again off the stick, that time with Josh de Klerk. Spreckley, play on is the call, even though it caught the foot, and there was a South African player fairly close. Robson to Penrose again. Ulifan looks to close down. Le Forestier does this time. Good ball into the midfield, and it was played back that time by Hewson. It's with Penrose again, courtesy of a pass from Morehouse. Under the ball, Liam Ansell brought it down. Short pass to Carter. And Fowers Carter penalised for throwing it with the player too close. Been a few of those in this tournament. That's the first one we've really seen penalised. It's another long corner, and it's Great Britain this time frustrated that the ball is not coming in quick enough. So over the ball, Tom Morehouse plays it back this time to Hewson. Hewson back to Penrose. Good lead out of the circle, but intercepted very well by Montgomery. Trying to feed it down the line, and it just caught the foot that time of Felix Tully. So it'll be a free hit to South Africa. Still no goals as yet. South Africa have won 1 penalty corner, Great Britain 3. Flint goes back to Carter again. Into the midfield and de Klerk. Carter once more. Deflected forward. Good work again by Rory Penrose, just taking it away from Le Forestier. Trying to go back. Le Forestier snapping at his heels. In the air it goes. This time it's brought down by Graves. Graves' short pass goes to Ali Douglas. Robson. Douglas goes on the loop, and coming across is Flint, who plays it over the side. Ali Douglas plays it in quickly from the sideline, keeps possession, goes to Wiltshire. Now it's Robson wide on the right, closed down well by South Africa. Have to go back to Spreckley. Penrose. And that hit the foot, I was going to say. The whistle took a while to come, just deflected onto Tom Morehouse's foot off his own stick. If you are waiting for the rest of the action today, we do believe that on the far pitch, Germany and Australia are warming up, and that they will warm up over there, and then we will get into the game here very quickly after this one. So make sure you stay tuned. The reason this game is running late is we had a thunderstorm before the players could come out and warm up, and that delayed us by an hour. Robson now, bit of space for him, feeds it forward into the path of Graves. Flint comes across, Graves got there, caught the heel, I thought, of Flint, but Graves has it again. Flint tries to take it, Graves still keeps possession for Great Britain. Pings it in, and a shot, great save. Well, that was a super save, not sure he knew a great deal about it. Verissimo denying Felix Tully. Trying to play on quickly, and that time Moore has just got his bearings wrong. And Felix Tully, sharp shot. Verissimo well placed, just flicked out his arm, reflex save. And having to scurry that time was not. Just let the ball run away from his stick. Ansell. Back to Flint again, and not for a second. I thought he wasn't watching. And that's going to be deflected, but it will be got. It was Douglas who was determined to get that. Good break forward again from Spreckley. Spreckley feeds it back to Douglas. Douglas into the circle he goes, to the baseline, slides it across, and play on is the call, but I think South Africa are looking at the umpire. It looked a clear foot to me off the attacking player, that he tried to play it with his stick and it went into the shin. And South Africa, I think, are again just a little bit miffed by that one. Alice Robson played it infield, and a break forward from Sturch Hibbert. Sturch Hibbert into the circle, still Sturch Hibbert, and he's got it. Well, that was sheer determination coming from Johnny Sturch Hibbert. And he opens the scoring and breaks the deadlock, although there is an inquest going on, and I don't think anything is going to change. Liam Ansell asking the question. But the umpire has given the goal and he's waving Ansell away. Well, South Africa a little bit upset by that. But to be fair, it was a good run by Sturch Hibbert from outside the circle. Just trying to remember, I don't think it was a free hit, so it couldn't be the 5 meters.
First goal of the match scored by Great Britain, goal scorer, player number 9, Johnny Sturch Hibbert.
So just 2.5 minutes left in this third quarter. There's still a whole quarter left for South Africa to come back. Over the side it goes this time, off the stick of Monty Neve. James Flint. And Liam Ansell, again, I have to say, as a captain, was a fine example, really. He didn't shout, he wasn't getting angry, he was very calm in his explanation or request for an explanation from the umpire. Clearly trying to point out something that maybe have been missed. Hewson comes wide now to Monteneve. That one just again ricocheting into the body of Max Anderson, but nobody near, so allowed to play on. Wiltshire is put under pressure this time, and oh dear, he's fallen badly on his wrist there. Well, Great Britain have played on. There's not a lot of sympathy for the tumble for David Tishebi, and he's going to go off, and it looks like it may be his shoulder actually. I think he might have popped his shoulder, and it's still going on inside the circle. Free out to South Africa, but that will be a cruel, cruel blow for David Tishebi if he has just popped his shoulder. Certainly his arm got caught underneath him as he fell awkwardly, and that could easily have been the result. Good work again in the midfield from Ted Graves. Picked up though by Mutulani. Mutulani goes back to Ansell. Comes wide now to Carter. Last 30 seconds of the half. South Africa need to get it forward, and again appeals from Montgomery. Nothing going. They still need to get forward and into the circle if they can. It's a great break forward. Into the D it goes, but unfortunately de Klerk just lost it at the vital moment, and it will be a 16, and Great Britain have weathered that storm of a late attack in this third quarter, and they're just looking up, and it'll just be a gentle push as the hooter goes. So a goal late in the third quarter. Real perseverance from Johnny Sturch Hibbert as he drove towards the goal and managed to get the ball past Verissimo. So we head into the final break. It is South Africa 0, Great Britain 1. Well, the final quarter about to get underway in match 7 of the Sultan Johor Cup 2023. South Africa versus Great Britain. Great Britain leading by 1-0. If they can get a victory today, it will mean that their chances of making the semi-finals are still alive. South Africa, well, they will know that they will not be playing in the semi-finals, but they are hoping that they can create something and maybe find an equaliser. This has been a very close match. Not much to choose between the two. Free hit won by South Africa, Jamie Seal. Seal, who was really dominant in the first half, and I just wonder whether the Great Britain coaching staff realised they needed to close him down a little bit more. Let's play to him once more. Found a little bit of space on the right-hand side. Looks to cut in, then takes on Ellis Robson. Gets away from Robson. Seal into the circle. Was he bundled over? Well, the umpire doesn't give anything, and it's Great Britain's ball. Up the side it goes to Harry Stone, but he didn't have it. And now South Africa come forward once more. That's smashed into the circle, and unfortunately for South Africa, it was over the crossbar. Mbata, well, he got it in a place where he could have a shot, but then was reaching for it all the time as he tried to hit it on the reverse stick. Nick Nurse now. Morehouse. Good pass forward to pick out Nick Nurse again as he helps it forward. Good running coming from Payton. Payton lays it back again, looking for Nurse. Nurse gets it. Good tackle, top of the circle. Very important tackle, although turned over too easily after doing all that hard work. And it was really good work initially by de Klerk. De Klerk has the ball now, pushes it to Montgomery. Montgomery gets round one into the circle, off the pads. Penalty corner, is it? No, long corner. Thought I saw the umpire putting both arms out. It's a long corner to South Africa. Look at the wall of white shirts at the edge of the circle. Ansell is going to have to come back to Flint. Carter is on the left-hand side, and they look to close him down pretty quickly. Fawaz Carter feeds it forward. Mtalani. And de Klerk won it back there fairly and then was impeded. Carter throws it out to the right-hand side. Jamie Seal rather. Defensively, good work coming from Max Anderson again, just when his team needed it. And it's going to be a 16. Great Britain, you just wonder whether they're just going to take a few seconds longer now with all of these 16s and free hits. Ansell brought it down well, feeds it up the line. Knott has made a good run, looking for the pass now, gets it. Knott gets the free hit. Seal goes on a breakover, Knott impeded again. So it will be South Africa's free hit just outside the 5-meter dotted line. Certainly not overawed by their opponents today. Good work being done again by Neertling. Slipped it out wide. It'll come back to Ansell. Ansell will look to maybe, well, I thought he was going to play it in. He will now. And it's a good, oh, it's gone all the way through. And it was a good run into the circle again. And it wasn't a bad pass. But unfortunately for South Africa, just couldn't get on the end of it. It was Le Forestier who was the man inside the circle. Pushed forward again, left behind though as he tried to get it under control was Sturch Hibbert, the goal scorer. Stolen this time by Stone. Oh, it's not Stone, my apologies, it's Morehouse. That's a very good tackle by Fawaz Carter. And the free hit again goes South Africa's way. They may well have wanted to have let Mtalani go on a run on that one. Carter. Oh dear, he got it caught in the stick and it's gone out of play, and the Forestier just looking rather dejected there because he'd made a good run to get ahead of Max Anderson to receive that pass. Anderson now plays it square. South Africa pressing a little bit higher, looking to put pressure on Great Britain's defence. The Forestier comes, slips as it's carried out well that time by Anderson. Managed to find Penrose. Penrose short pass this time to Payton. Looked to play it back, deflected over the side by South Africa. Penrose now will leave it for Payton. Payton, whose nickname is Bagels. Don't quite know why. We'll try and find out before the end of the tournament. Gets the ball again. Payton. Payton tries to weave through three players from South Africa. Got it, and a very important deflection from Knott inside the circle. It's going to break kindly again for Wiltshire. Wiltshire feels it, and a wild swing, and Flint took the brunt of that on his hand. I think that was Robson with the shot. It was indeed Ellis Robson, and Flint, well, the umpire asking if he wants treatment. He's going, no, I'll play on. I think Flint knows he's needed out on the field of play. If he has physio treatment, he has to go off. So we're into the final 10 minutes of this match. Very important game for both teams. They need to get a win. A draw, well, depending on the game coming up after this, Australia versus Germany, if that ended in a draw, then both of these again would still have an opportunity to go through to the semi-finals if they won their final game. Great Britain play Germany, South Africa play Australia, and a mistrap this side from Montigny. The ball just escaping from him. Good calm play that time from Graves. Graves in position to receive the return pass. Plays it down the line this time to Markham. Markham now trying to get inside the circle. Brilliant tackle by Liam Ansell. Ulifont looking to take on more. Has he beaten him? Needs to slip the pass to Le Forestier. Across the goal it goes, and that was lifted out off the keeper. Good sharp save again from Callum Douglas. And just heard a shout from the Great Britain bench. Well done, keeper. Free hit goes Great Britain's way. Right on the halfway point of this final quarter. Penrose will just scoop that one over the top to Nick Nurse, but Nurse was yorked by the ball as it came down. South Africa ringing the changes. Not sure which bench that was urging the players to work hard. They're working very hard, all of them. This has been a real battle, brought down brilliantly. Was that a backstick? No, says the umpire. And it's there. They've got the goal. South Africa have snuck it home at the back post. I think it might be de Klerk who got the final touch. But it was good work by Montgomery. And South Africa have pulled themselves level. Well, real determination by this team. They were not giving up the ghost. They kept going. And they've been rewarded, so it's all tied up now with just under 7 minutes remaining. Well, are we going to see one of them manage to steal a victory in this game? Great Britain, I think, thought that they were going to march to victory. So confirmation it was indeed Josh de Klerk who scored that goal, the man who was educated or Paul Roos Gymnasium. Paul Roos, of course, a very famous rugby player. And a pretty special individual. If you've never heard of him, Google him. So 6 minutes remaining. The ball comes wide to Morehouse again. Penrose. And this will make it very interesting if it finishes as a draw. And if either team wins the next game, they'll be through, but the other one will be faced with the possibility of making sure they get a victory in the final game. And both of these will need a victory in their final game if they want to contest the semi-finals. Good, strong challenge now. Ulifont wanting the ball back immediately as he went forwards. Tabang. Montgomery hesitated on that and has lost possession. Just surrounded by British players. I think he just thought he had a little bit longer. Morehouse trying to calm things down with Robson in the midfield for Great Britain. Comes wide now to Harry Stone. Stone cuts infield, left the ball behind momentarily. Robson now was going to go square. He will this time to Wiltshire, who just comes on as a replacement. Penrose. Anderson pushes it out onto the left-hand side. 5 minutes remaining. Good tackle again from de Klerk. Well, it's a free hit actually, but he broke up the attack. That's a good tackle again by de Klerk. Got his stick there, but it's into the circle for Great Britain. Chance to turn. Well, it was Payton again. Payton, you feel, is one of those players that can turn a game in a second. Will come wide to Rory Penrose. Ulifont looks to close him down. Wiltshire now. Great Britain trying to transfer it from one side to the other. Turning and going back on the attack is Nick Nurse. Closed down. He's going to have to come back out, and the ball comes to Hewson. Wiltshire now almost back on halfway. Ulifont thrown to the air. Penrose brings it down. He tries to scoop it forward. Robson brings it down now, just short of the circle. Into the D it goes. Turn again. Good save. Douglas denied by Verissimo. Well, Ali Douglas, good position, created the space, got the shot away, but Verissimo stood tall. Damien Knott has to push it up the side, he does, and claiming a push but not rewarded is Tabang. Alice Robson plays it back to Penrose. Into the midfield it goes now to Hewson. Hewson does well. Managed to just pull away from Neertling. 3 minutes remaining. Penrose comes wide to Robson again. Over the side it goes, off Jay's stick. Robson back in, goes to Penrose. Once again, it's Anderson to Penrose, and it's going to be stolen by Ulifont. He's done well. Goes infield this time, and a short push, but a lucky touch. Hewson just took a touch off Neertling's pass. Fed forward again. It's a good pass, but sweeping the stick is Harry Markham to win it back and take it away from Jay. South Africa being starved of possession. Plenty of space now for Hewson. Hewson pushes it wide to Payton. Payton's got on the overlap if he wants to use him. Graves, and he does. Graves into the circle, across the goal it goes. Penalty corner given against South Africa. And again, I think South Africa saying that they felt it was the Great Britain players' foot, not their players. But the umpire is not changing his mind. He said, that's how I saw it. And so a penalty corner to Great Britain. Their fourth of the match. 2 minutes left on the clock. Can they steal a victory? huge moment in the match. Penrose, I think, is at the first battery, and then Markham at the second. They go to Penrose, and he fires it home low down. Well, Penrose got 2 against South Africa a year ago, and he gets another one today, and that may be the one that crushes South Africa's hopes. Rory Penrose stepping forward and firing just low down to Verissimo's right. Makes it 2-1 to Great Britain with just 2 minutes remaining. Well, South Africa, they dug deep to get back in the game before. And we're just wondering whether they might pull the keeper now and go for it. But nothing at the moment. Liam Ansell. James Flint throws it long. Well, the Great Britain player running into that space there. Clearly a free hit to Breitenbach. He gets on with it quickly, gets past 2. Great work by Breitenbach, lays it back. Great Britain had so many sticks there, couldn't tell whose it was. South Africa have won it again and are appealing for a penalty corner, but no, it is a free out to Great Britain. Well, brilliant play individually by Breitenbach to leave those 2 Great Britain players behind him. Turned over, and Breitenbach will have it again. Keeps it for South Africa. Gets again through 2 tackles and a third. Feeds it wide now into the path of Le Forestier. Well, South Africa thought that they had a long corner. I think it was Dan Newhoff, not Le Forestier. My apologies. Just wasn't expecting Newhoff to be making the runs in the forward line. So Great Britain again taking their time. A touch, and it's thrown to the air. Flint has it this time. And now the umpire changes his mind, and that kills valuable seconds for South Africa. And Great Britain eat up more. Nice turn again coming from Morehouse. Takes it into the corner. Alongside him is Payton. South Africa have stolen it. It's gone over the side, but they're going to have to throw it long. They do, but it's not gone probably long enough. Oh, it might bounce kindly. Stepping across. Good work by Anderson. South Africa have it, but the clock is against them. They're going to get it forward to Le Forestier. Needs to get it into the circle. He can't. And so South Africa go down to Great Britain late in the match. A cruel, cruel turn of events for them, having fought back after going down a goal to Sturge Hibbert. De Klerk got them level, but Rory Penrose stepped up when Great Britain won their 4th penalty corner, flicked it home with 2 minutes left. So the final score is South Africa 1, Great Britain 2.